and I would like to tell you about my journey of making a photo booth. So let's make a photo booth in React. But before I start, I would like to introduce myself. So I'm Radosław Małecki, like I said before, and I'm working as a senior front-end engineer at OLX Group. And I come from Poland, and I like to do different kind of sport activities. And besides that, I like to work on do-it-yourself projects. And here's my Twitter ID. If you have any questions, you can reach me through Twitter or after the presentation. Unfortunately, I'm not the active person there, but nevertheless, I will be more than happy to answer if you have any questions. Last year, I had a wedding, and together with my wife, we decided that we would like to have the photo booth on our wedding party. And that's why I decided that once I am an engineer and also I like to work on do-it-yourself projects, I decided that I will make my own photo booth. And you might be asking yourself the question, what is exactly the photo booth? And I think this picture can answer your question. So as you can see in the middle, we got the photo booth, the black box which you can start calling the photo booth. And around this, we got the accessories, additional lighting, and the curtain. And from the other side of the booth, we got you. So there are different kind of people which shares actually one thing. They have a lot of fun of making a photo in the front of the booth. All right, so but let's go back to the booth. To the black box itself. So under the hood of this black box, we got the small PC or the laptop. There should be also the camera, maybe professional one, or the webcam. It depends on the budget. And also, you need to have the display just to get the preview for your image. And additionally, you can connect something like a physical background to trigger an action, a printer, whatever you want. And speaking about my MVP, so I've made an MVP for that wedding party. And what I did, I just took the button and connected it to the Arduino board. And on that board, I was running just a simple script, which was listening for a state of the digital I/O, and it was sending to the MacBook. And speaking about this PC, I had also connected the external display and the webcam. And finally, I was running the Electron application, so it was the desktop application. And it was written in Vanilla.js, and this desktop application was handling both backend and the frontend. And by saying backend, I mean it was handling the communication with the board itself, and also with the server on which I was putting the images from the booth. All right, so I've made a video before the final painting of this booth, and as you can see here, I'm just clicking the button, and once the animation is shown, I'm preparing myself for making a photo, and then the photo is automatically created and it's uploaded to the server. And you're able to download it through the QR code or just with the link which I provided here. And finally, I tested it on production. Actually, from my side, it was the most important production in my life, I guess. And my goal was achieved, and together with our friends and my wife, we had a lot of we saved a lot of good memories, and also we have a lot of fun with it. But actually, it wasn't the end, right? I decided that I would like to make another booth, but it won't be the booth working as a desktop application, but this time it will be the web application, which will be written in React because actually I can't, right? And speaking about this next generation, let's say, I've created here for you the demo, but I will show you it later. But here I wanted to just show you that it's kind of simplified version of the booth because I was flying, so I wasn't able to take everything with me. And so as you can see here, I've got the button, which is connected to the Raspberry Pi board. And I also have here the camera, which is actually the Raspberry Pi camera. And speaking about the devices here, which are connected to the board, I also was using the same display. For the purpose of demo, I will be using the display from the presentation. And on the Raspberry Pi, I'm running the simplified Linux distribution, which just has the GUI and just the necessary programs that I need for running my booth. And all right, so I think it's time for showing some code. And speaking about the code, this is the heart of the booth, right? So it's quite simple. As you can see, I've got the stream view component, which renders two elements. The first one is the picture view element or component, which I will be talking about later. And the second one is the video element, which actually gives us possibility to just get a preview of our image on the booth. All right, so I'm using here hooks. So as you can see, I'm using the use effect hook, and based on the capture image flag, which indicates whether someone pushed the button or not, I'm creating the video stream. So I'm taking the get user media. I'm calling actually the method from Navigator. So I'm calling the get user media method, and I'm taking the stream from my camera, and I'm assigning it to the source of the video. And finally, based on this capture image flag, I might change the state of the preview, right? So it might be in pause or play state. And going back to the picture view component, actually it's also quite simple. So it returns the canvas, so the purpose actually for the picture view is to get the preview of final picture, right? So once you click the button, I'm triggering the use effect, and I'm processing the image. So I'm taking the image so I'm taking the stream from the video, and I'm creating the picture. And as you can see here, I've got the process picture function, which first I'm cleaning the canvas from previous state. So I'm filling up the canvas with the black color. Then once I've got the canvas already cleared, I'm just creating the stream I'm creating the image from the stream, right? So I'm taking the context from the canvas, and I'm drawing the image on that canvas, and I'm taking as a source the video stream. All right, so I'm adding there also additional border on the top of this image. And finally, once I've got my final image created in the canvas, I'm uploading it to the server. And once upload ends with success, I'm just showing the URL on the UI. All right, so speaking about the upload part, for uploading, I'm using the Firebase API. And since it's the web application, I didn't want to share any credentials on the front-end side, so I'm signing in anonymously. And then I'm creating the reference for my bucket. Also, I'm creating the randomly generated name for my file. And then finally, I'm uploading this file to the server. Actually, it's the bucket on the Firebase storage. And as you can see on the bottom, instead of returning the URL for the Firebase storage for my bucket, actually I'm returning the more human readable URL, which just forwards my all after the slash forwards to that specific bucket on the Firebase storage. And one more thing about the Firebase storage. Actually, I wasn't able to set up roles on the Firebase storage in general for the bucket, right? And that's why if you want to set up roles on the whole bucket, you need to switch from Firebase storage, from the Firebase API to the Google Cloud. So it's like a parent for the Firebase. And there you need to set up roles, as you can see here, for all users, just to give them access to read the files, but actually without listing all of those files in the specific bucket. All right, so let's say that we are almost done with the working photo booth, right? But maybe you're asking yourself questions: how am I handling the events from that physical button on the web application? Yeah. And actually the answer is I'm not handling it because I'm not able to do it, right? So in this case, I needed to write a script which just forwards the events from the general purpose I/O to the keyboard. And in this case, I've just wrote the simple script, which, as you can see here, I'm just listening for the 18 pin in my Raspberry Pi board. And once that specific pin is in rising state, I'm just sending the event, sending the space event on the booth, right? All right, so we have. Let's imagine that our photo booth looks like this one. Yeah, so we got the Chrome browser, and somewhere here we got the URL for our web application. As you can see, we got also the OS tab, right? So this solution is quite suboptimal, and fortunately, we can have something like kiosk mode, right? So Chrome browser supports kiosk mode, and what kiosk mode does is it hides the Chrome tabs itself, which is quite obvious. But also it hides the OS tabs, which is more important. And finally, I think we can try with a demo. I'm not sure if I need to turn it off, this recording, or should I enable it again? Should I turn off the recording here?
Okay, so you're going to switch this one?
Yes. And just to connect?
Disconnect to this one.
You're sure?
Decent?
All right.
No, you're going to connect to...
Yes.
Then yes.
Okay. All right, so I've created a simplified version of the photo booth, as you can see. So I'm trying to connect it, and once it starts, as you can see, the button is working. And let's see, not so found. All right. It should work, right? Okay, so as you can see here, the Raspberry Pi already started. Yeah, and I've got the script as the startup script written. It checks whatever I have in the internet, because I need the internet for my photo booth, since I'm uploading the images there. And also I'm launching the script for the binding the button to the keyboard. And finally, I'm running additional script, or I'm just running the server which serves the files for my application, right? So as you can see, once I will tap the button, actually, yeah. So this is the preview of the photo booth, right? So as you can see here. I can see you, or I can make you. I can make you to see me, and I will try to make a photo first. and then maybe we'll try to make another one with all of you guys. Alright, so I've just clicked the button, and as you can see, the animation is shown, and then it's automatically uploaded to the server, right? So I have just quite slow internet, so let's wait a minute or second. Yeah, finally. All right, so as you can see, the upload part works, and if you have the smartphone, you can check that QR code and actually download your that image on your smartphone. You have already. Okay, so I have also. Maybe we'll turn on the light just for a second. Can you turn on the light? I would like to make the photo with all of you, if you don't mind. All right, so let's try and smile probably. It was taken or not? All right, so maybe you can turn off again the slide. All right, so it might be a bit blurry because my hands are shaking, but nevertheless, you can download your digitalized version of that, the same board. I mean, nearly the same board as you have on the ground floor, right? So, right. Okay. So I would like to go back to the presentation and talk about one thing more. All right. So is it recording right now or not?
No, we should check.
All right. All right, so going back to the presentation. So you already saw the demo. I hope you liked and enjoyed it. And I wanted to talk about my failures because I had some. And first of all, I wanted to implement the chroma key effect on the MVP. And for those who are not familiar with the chroma key effect, like you can see on this picture, you're able to replace selected color. In most cases, it's the green one or the blue one with the background that you want, right? And in this case, I had a green board, and I made my own chroma key effect. And as you can see, my T-shirt almost disappeared because I also had green T-shirt. And if you want to play with the chroma key effect, there is a doc from Mozilla guy, and actually they did an amazing job on this video manipulation. They have just a simple script which makes a chroma key effect in real time, so just check it out. But I would like to go back to my failure, right? So on the MVP, I was using the web application, the webcam on the desktop application. And since I had the webcam and it has automatic setup, so I didn't have any access to the drivers on the for that specific camera, I wasn't able to set up strict roles in my algorithm, and that's why I needed to skip this solution. And so on my MVP, I didn't have the chroma key effect enabled. And the next failure is on that second board, which is the Raspberry Pi. I was trying to use also the same webcam. And unfortunately, I had also problems with it. Because if you want to run your, when I was running this, actually I got really slow performance. All right, so I think we almost done. and I would like to sum up. So I have some takeaways for you. So first takeaway is if you are working on the IoT and you want to play with the Raspberry Pi and you want to have the web application, please try using React because it gives a lot of fun during the development, and it's also quite performant. So you can try using React. And then the next takeaway is once you want to use the Raspberry Pi and you want to connect any device to that board, think twice. Just check whatever this device is supported by a Raspberry Pi team. If not, that might be some performance issues, like I said before. So I really suggest to use native modules that are provided by Raspberry Pi team. And the next thing is once you want to have your web application or application that will be running in public spaces, then probably you should think about using kiosk mode from Chrome. And the last thing is once you want to start your journey with the cloud, or you want to have you want to develop quite quickly your application based on cloud, then I really suggest to use Firebase because it has quite simple API, and also the pricing is quite cheap. All right, so I think we are done. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed. And if you will have any questions, you can ask me right now, or you can reach me through Twitter. I'm not the active person there, but nevertheless, you can try to reach me there. Any questions? If not, you can reach me after the presentation. All right, so thank you.